Your time is now to become a champion of your real estate brand. Are you ready?
Welcome to the stage, it's your moment to shine. Level up your game, success is on the line. Okay, your time is now to become a champion of your real estate brand. Are you ready? Let's go! The Champions Podcast starts now!
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's the Champions Podcast. Ian Main over in Spain joining me today. What's up, my brother? You doing good?
I'm doing very well, Jason. How are you?
Hey, man, I'm doing good, man. Let's dig in. We wanted to talk about helping agents and stuff that gets into their world and some not doing the
Yeah.
work. Well, this week I helped some agents, to find some open houses. And so you got them 4 or 5 of them, I told them, hey, call around, all this stuff. And I follow up at the end of this week and they're like, no, I didn't get that one. And I said, well, what happened? He's like, oh, well, there's an open house coming up on Sunday they already had scheduled, so I couldn't do one. I was like, well, there's numerous times on a Sunday that you could also do and piggyback off of is my first thought, or
Mhm.
Saturday, or what about Friday night or even Thursday night? It's thinking
Mhm.
outside the box. So, I see this trend a lot, Ian. Agents are, it's like, hey, you're getting handed stuff, but you're not executing. And I don't get why. As a leader, I get frustrated in that moment. It's just like, what's going on? Where's the disconnect? Especially when I hear agents, "Hey, I need money. I gotta live. I gotta make
Yeah,
this happen." And why aren't you?
exactly. And I was going to say they're the first ones, or they're the ones that complain the loudest about not getting any business. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, it's two and two makes four, so I don't
Yeah.
know what else you want. But yeah, interesting. I've had some similar kind of stories come through. I actually had a meeting today with one of my top agents. She's such an amazing person. She's such a good salesperson as well. Everything she does is rooted in her core values and her family, in God. And it's absolutely amazing. And she was telling me the story of one of her clients that is trying to sell a property and an issue that's not through her, it's through another agent, and they're having big problems. And it turns out, honestly, on paper, it looks like a scam. It looks like this other agent somehow is just making way, way much more money than he should be from a sale like this, and the owner doesn't know how, and she can't put the numbers together, and she got upset. She had anxiety attack. The ambulance had to go to her house a couple of nights ago because of it, and this is all just because of the crappy work that one agent put in to sell her home. He's there to service her. So I look at it. You've got the agents that have these open houses, or these have these leads, or they have the work like there for them to take, and they don't do it. And then on the other hand, you've got these agents who get the work and then they do the world's worst job, which paints a horrible picture for every other agent that actually cares about people out there. And I'll throw this in here as well. I'm in Spain. We don't do open houses here. I would die to do open houses in Spain because I've seen the power of them in US, like through content and through stuff like that. And I would love to do them. So if you're there and you're listening to this and you're not doing them, it's like, come on. It's like be grateful for what you have and how things work where you are and just get it done because it'll be beneficial to you in the end.
Why?
Um,
Hey, real fast on that. Why
yeah.
why don't you guys do open houses?
It's just not a practice that's seen here at all. I don't know if it's because it's more common to be in apartments than it is in an actual like single
Single family.
family house, or I don't know. It's just not common practice here. It's just not seen.
So
I think like people might do them every now and then, but it's very, very rare
yeah.
that it's
So here's my challenge like that. That word that you say it's uncommon practice. That gets me excited because that's an opportunity to shine.
yeah.
Because
Hmm.
yes, it is uncommon. It's going to require a little more work, but you're going to be able to be a master of that. So I personally, if you're dying to do them, I would look at it. And even if it's an apartment, even if it's whatever's going to help you show the property as well as meet new people, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, why not think outside the box and just not go with, hey, it's common practice not to do them. So what? I'm not. It goes back to that 80-20 rule. We always bring this up. It's 80% are going to not do open houses in Spain, but what about that 20%? Are
It's true.
20% of them doing it? Maybe it's even a smaller number than that, but man,
It's
I
true.
challenge you. I challenge you to try it. Why not?
Yeah, I think I probably will. Especially one of my newer listings coming up. It's really cool. But the thing is, anyway, we're here discussing how to get the job done.
Yeah.
The thing is, we if we put our minds to it and we say we're going to do it, we usually do get it done. It's not something like, oh, okay, I'll check it out, and it never happens. We either hold each other accountable to it, or we have
Yep.
enough self-discipline to hold ourselves accountable to it, that the work actually gets done. So why are we like that, and then other agents not? Like, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know that answer, and I wish I did. And it goes to a stat that I saw in last month. Here, in the United States, real estate agents are called realtors here, and
Yes.
75% of realtors here in the United States sold zero homes in
Oh
2025.
yeah, I saw that. I saw
Yeah,
that. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah,
horrible number. Horrible, horrible number.
it's insane.
Horrible. It puts a bad taste in my mouth. It makes us look bad as an industry. I mean, why? Why? I don't know. Why do you invest in yourself? Go to these classes. Why do you pay here in the United States again? Why do you pay your realtor fees every year? Do continuing education, not sell one home. That's like right now I'm mind boggled because Ian, you and I, we help so many people. And we want to understand people's business of what do you need to succeed? Your success is my success. Your failure is my failure. If you're not selling homes, I'm not selling homes. So when there's 75% out there not selling homes, now they're not all with our brokerage that is around the United States as a whole, but still, like, what drives you? Why did you get into this? What's
Well,
going to push you? What would that mean to have one or two or three or five extra closings a year? What would that mean not only to yourself but to your family? And maybe you're just by yourself, and that's okay. What does it mean for yourself? So I don't know your answer, Ian. It it bothers me. It frustrates me. I don't know how to help in these instances.
yeah. Well, people that get into real estate, I don't know that this would be an interesting to know, but I don't know if the majority of people that get into real estate look at it as, oh, you make a sale, you make a bunch of money. Like it's a high ticket thing where one sale equals thousands, right? It's not like selling pens. It's not like selling this pen where I wouldn't make thousands. I need to sell 1,000 pens to get somewhere. Um, so I don't know if people coming into it thinking of the money, just the money side of it, like, oh, I can do this as I am working at the hospital, or doing this job or doing this, or I can work on it on the weekends. All I need to do is make one sale and I make like 5,000 bucks or euros or whatever, and then that's okay. I can do that a couple of times a year, and I'll just treat it as a hobby. So I don't know if I don't know if that's one of the biggest factors. So I don't know like what the percentage of agents that come into the industry do it for that reason. But the other agents that come into it with real intention, I'm not saying that they sell more, but I think when they do, they have better intentions behind it. It's not just about money. They want to help families. Maybe they realize that they're okay at it and they can sell because of their human connections and all the rest of it. A lot of people always think of their why. I think the why is the driving factor everybody talks about. Like, oh, you need to know your why. That'll push you forward, that'll move you forward, blah blah blah. But for on one hand, that's true because I think it's important to know it. But your why, and I can't remember where I got this from recently. It was recent. I was studying some stuff, and they spoke about how your why comes from your past. So your why is because, for example, I don't know, I'm just gonna make this up. Because you don't want your kids to go through what you went through as a child, for example. Maybe you came up in a poor household and you didn't want your kids to go through the same thing. So your why usually comes from past experiences, so that you can change the future. Your mission, on the other hand, is a future-driven focus. It pulls you forward in somewhere where you want to move towards, not something that happened before. So I think people get clear on their why, but they don't get clear on their mission. And this is something huge that I've shifted with recently. And for me, it's very simple. And I think you see it as well. My mission is to raise the standard of the real estate industry in Spain through individual personal excellence of every agent. That's it.
Awesome.
Every single day that I go to bed, I think, did I do anything, whether it's microscopic or large, I don't care, anything at all that moves us towards that goal, which might get completed in my lifetime, might not, don't really care. But if every single day, every 24 hours, I move towards that and I think about that when I'm selling my service, I think about that when I'm selling, I don't know, the organization to different agents, that motivates me way more than just my why, which is my family and all the rest of it. I think that is probably one of the biggest things. People aren't motivated enough because they don't know what they want to achieve. So when they get these leads, they might call them, they might not. At the end of the day, they don't care because they haven't thought about it enough to move towards wherever they want to go. They don't know where they're going. They could be standing against a brick wall and they're just like, yeah, I'm okay. This is fine. Like I don't know and I don't care.
Yeah.
At least I have a focus point and I know where I'm trying to get towards. Whether I make it or not, I don't know, and I don't really care. All I care about is knowing that every single day I I move towards it somehow in some shape or form. And I think that's what it is.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, I appreciate you breaking that down, and I like your mission that you've got to make Spain better. And and I know we talk all the time, obviously, but you've mentioned that to me, and I love that that's your mission, um, because lately. I've been thinking, how do we, and I'm going to turn it into an EXP conversation here. How
Okay.
do we as EXP become top market share? And so what that means for us here in the United States, we're all part of the MLS. So and then we
Yeah.
have rankings from individuals, then we have rankings of brokerages, right?
Brokerage. Yeah.
I'm not looking at individuals. I'm looking as a whole of a brokerage. Here in Indiana, we're the number two brokerage in Indiana. That's
Okay.
impressive, right? However, on paper, it doesn't show that way because our one brokerage is broken into like 15 different MLSs all around. This may not
Okay.
make sense to you, Ian, but it's kind of like subdivisions, if you will.
Okay.
You've got the MLS, EXP, but then it's got little subsidiaries, if I could say it that way, about 15 of them. Those
Okay.
15 add up to one big number, which make us number two.
Gotcha.
However, if you look at us on paper, we're not number two. It doesn't look like number two unless you do the math.
Gotcha.
Now, other MLS, or excuse me, other brokerages do the exact same thing. They may have one or two or three or four or five different franchises. Each franchise would have a different MLS number. And so that way,
Mhm.
those franchises are getting their numbers on the MLS. Then
Yeah.
people can boast, oh, my franchise is the best. I'm with Keller Williams. I run the best franchise in Indiana. That's where that
Yeah.
mindset comes from. However, that wasn't the mindset of EXP was one brokerage around the world, right?
Right.
So my mind now is like, how do I help get back to this? Just like your vision into Spain, I'm envisioning India and saying, how can we be top market? How can all of these
Mhm.
15 MLS groups recombine back into one? Is it possible? I don't know that answer, and probably not immediately. There's a lot that'll go into it. But here's the other caveat. I like to talk to a lot of agents, right? Our buddy John Wishmeyer down in Columbus, Indiana, shot me a text yesterday, and he shows me this chart where Remax is top in his area. And they put this publication out and it kind of shows everybody of different brokerages how they're lined up in the Columbus area.
Right.
And Remax is pretty high up there. So I was looking at it. So I texted him back on it. And then I was thinking about it the rest of the day. And I texted him late last night. And I was just like, I think we need to start talking to Remax agents because one, they're probably paying way too much. And if we could show them different ways to do things that reward them a lot more. Maybe a move away from Remax is their choice. I don't know, but that's where my
Mhm.
mind goes. And it's like, all right, well, if we could get some of these top tier talents at some of these other places, then that'll help us with that market share. And then in turn, we could have that. And then I could change my mission, my focus, very similar to what you're doing, saying, how can I help them? And not only them as team leaders, but their agents and the agents that they've brought on to become better. So now it's turned into like a 3 to 5 year mission for myself
Yeah.
to do this
Hmm.
and go. And just like you're working on Spain. Have I been able to um, improve a little bit with Spain today? That's great that you ask yourself that every day. I love that, man.
Yeah. 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 And it's all done through the individual agent. So for example, this agent that I talked about that's looks like he or she or I don't even know who's he or she or whatever, is scamming this poor property owner that just wants to sell and buy something else, and they're suffering these anxiety attacks. That's the kind of stuff that we need just to get rid of, and it
Yep.
needs to go. It needs to go. Spain has a severe lack of regulations when it comes to this business. What there is ridiculous. It's nothing. It means nothing. So anyone can sell a home. There's no common practice. People sell homes and there's not even contracts involved. They take pictures with their phone. You can see the freaking realtor in the mirror of the bathroom taking the picture. I hate those. It's one of my pet peeves. I hate it. I despise it. And it's just I see these things and I see it all the time and I hear all these stories from through my agents collaborating with other agents. And it's like, man, this is one of the things that for the first time, I really, really feel driven to somehow put a penny into this huge bank of things that I might not ever make a dent of it, but at least I know that me and my agents and the people that I talk to that are in the same kind of way of thinking as me, I know that we're doing what it takes personally, because if we do it, it rubs off on others, our clients get happier, we get more business. The bad agents eventually just fall off. Those that lie, those that just do the things the wrong way, no matter how long it takes, it'll always come back to bite them. Always. So they're just going to get rooted out at some point anyway, just out of pure nature. And eventually the standard will be raised. Now, I don't know how to do it like on paper, fiscally and legally when it comes to like regulations and things. I don't know. I'll cross that bridge when I get there in like 20 years or
Yeah.
something.
Well,
But
well, your hands are tied because you don't have that like realtor board like we have. Like we could
exactly.
report people if they're
Right.
doing things that are unethical or whatever it is, then yeah, we could report them. So
Oh man.
that's where almost a first stage for you, even talking to Adam Day of, hey, how do we implement regulation? And
Yeah.
you know, it's going to require work. It's going to require a 10-year practice, probably. You know, it's not going to
Right.
change overnight. You're talking about changing the way a whole country thinks of
Yeah.
about a profession. Not to say that it can't be done, it's just going to require work. And so that's where it just requires the right person, aka you, to really be passionate about it. And
Well,
you
yeah,
shared that with me. Passion. That was a word you used. People aren't passionate.
that's it. And people aren't passionate enough, so they're not taking action on the things that they need to do just to get done. And then they fall into that 75% of agents that just don't sell ever anything. It's like, well, yeah, you're just here to see if it works. Like you're one of those people that just hopes that the government will fix all of your problems or someone else will fix all of your problems and it'll just get done. It's like, no, that's just not how it happens. If you're one of those
Yep.
person, you don't realize you're probably actually part of the problem in the first place. So I don't know, it's something I really get passionate about. In these past few months, it's been something that I swear it's the first thing I think about every day I get up. It's the last thing I think about when I go to bed. I journal about it every single day, like, oh, I did this today, which is like a microscopic scratch on the surface of what I would love to achieve in the future, but it's better than nothing. And it's just that every day. Every day, every day, every day. And the cool thing is as well, I'll just throw this in here as well. bringing it back to EXP.
Okay.
Well, first of all, the EXP model allows us to do this because we work independent. We do things our own way. So we have the complete freedom to do business how we want to do business and get it done our way, which is cool. But I had a couple I invited a couple out to coffee the other day because they reached out to me wanting to learn more about EXP. They saw the model. They just had questions because the person that explained it to them did a terrible job, let's just say, which is really important as well. It all depends on who explains it to you and how they do it. So they reached out to me. We sat down for a coffee, and I cleared up the questions that they had for EXP, but the whole conversation was about this standard that we want to create in the business. They completely agreed with everything. Like, oh my God, yes, finally, like this is what we've been thinking about. This is something that we suffered with in the past in our own business with other agents that just don't want to do the work, blah, 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 whatever else. And they were already bought in just with that. We hadn't discussed going into the details of what EXP even offers. It's just with that, creating a community built around those values and that mission was enough for them to say, I'm making the change. This is what we need. It was huge, and it created a big shift in me as well. It's like I don't care what model you're with or what brokerage you're with at the moment. The people that you surround yourself with can either lower your standard, keep you where you're at, or push you forward to go where you are. And I know that the agents here at EXP are always pushing me to move forward, and now I'm hopefully helping others do the same thing. And really, really don't think you get it anywhere else at this
I
level.
agree. I love
Yeah.
it, buddy. I appreciate your words of wisdom, man. And the energy that you bring for the agents, for me, for our business partners that we link arms with. It's awesome. You're a gem. You're a true leader too, man. So I love that you keep focused on everyone else. So yeah, I applaud you
And,
for that.
and I feel like it all comes down to being selfish because this is something that I want to do for me. So it
Yeah,
is. Again, it comes back to personal excellence. Like this is for me. You're all lucky. It's helping all yous. Okay, cool. But it's for me. Everybody just be selfish and just think about really how to be the best version of yourself, which will end up helping others. Like I said, if you're not doing it ethically, it'll come back and haunt you, and you can't escape from that. It will catch up with you.
I agree. I had a quick example, and it kind of goes to that story, and I know we'll wrap this up here shortly too. You're talking about your story where, had the anxiety and all that. That agent was doing poorly. Well, here, I got to show a house earlier this week with some new clients of mine, and so we went out, and the house is labeled as a three bedroom, okay? And we have this section on our paper. It says agent to agent remarks, and only the agents can see this little paragraph that's on
Gotcha.
there. That's why it's agent to agent, right?
Right.
So it says on there, the third bedroom doesn't have a door. It is and overlooks the family room in a loft atmosphere, something to that, like that.
Right.
So I'm like, all right. So we go out there, we look, and we see bedroom one, we see bedroom two. All right, and we go into what is a loft, and it's wide open. This whole wall is
Yeah.
wide open to the family room. There is no holes in the wall that there was a door. There is no
Right.
place to earthly put a door. So it goes back to doing your job. Because I was driving home and the agent called me for some feedback, and I know this guy. And I said, listen, I said, man, you can't market this as a three bedroom. This is a two
Three
bedroom.
bedroom.
He's like, I put it in agent remarks. I said, you're marketing it as a three bedroom for buyers. That's how you're
Right.
marketing it.
Exactly.
I read what I read. I do my due diligence. I do my work, but you're making all of us look poor because you're misrepresenting your seller. And you're saying, hey, this is a three bedroom when it's actually a two bedroom and a loft.
Right.
We have that ethical piece here, and it's huge. And again, it's just don't be lazy, don't be sleazy, don't be that. Like call a spade a spade. And if you can't have, we've talked about this before, if you can't have a hard conversation with the client and say, no, this is a 2 bedroom.
Not only
Sure,
that,
if I build a wall and put a door, yes, it can be a
yeah,
3rd bedroom. Absolutely. But that's not what you're selling. That's not what
exactly.
you're selling.
Yeah,
And he even told me, he goes, oh, when they bought it new construction, the new construction company sold it as a 3 bedroom. I said, that's not my problem. That was numerous years ago. I'm talking about right now. That I can't be responsible for anything that's happened in the past with somebody else, lo and behold.
exactly.
But when we're looking at what should be a 3 bedroom and that's what my clients want, and you're selling me a 2 bedroom, you're wasting my clients' time, you're wasting my time, you're wasting people's time that are looking at it on the internet, coming to see this house. You're wasting your seller's time, you're wasting your own time. Stop it. So I was upset about it, and obviously I am now still, because it falls right into what you were saying. Just putting a poor word for us, sleazy, dirty, whatever. I don't like it.
If you've been in the business for long enough and you've done enough showings, you know that buyers hate when they see one thing online and then when they see it in person, it's not
Oh
what they
yeah,
thought it was. They it looked different in the pictures. Like, oh, I didn't know about this, or I wasn't expecting this. So yeah, when they're looking for a 3 bedroom property and then they go and see it and it's 2 bedroom with a loft, it's like, oh, they'll be talking about like, oh, you remember that one? We thought it was 3 bed. They said it was 3 bedroom. Like they said it was this. They said it was that. Yeah, we're that they. Don't let them talk about us like that.
right, right. Because it is. We are that day. Yeah. So
Exactly.
yeah, you're exactly right, brother. So man, those watching, step up, guys. Come on.
Yeah,
Like let's
please come
let's
on.
go and stop this. Stop
Yeah,
being whatever you are. Oh, you know what it is? I'm busy. That's probably why I'm busy, so I got to do this. Well, you know what? That's a chronic realtor disease. Busy is what
yep.
that is.
The B
So
word.
stop it. Stop being lazy.
Yeah,
Stop. Call a spade a spade. Let's get our job done. Be a professional at everything you do. That's my advice.
yeah.
Ian, wrap us up, buddy. I'm done.
Stop being busy and get productive. That's what I would say. So yeah, don't ever use that B word again on this podcast. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Come on, raise the standard, make it personal, excellent personally. It'll rub off on others. You'll be the best. You'll get more sales. That's what you want. So let's just do that, raise the standard together and move things forward.
Time is now to become a champion of your real estate brand. Are you ready?
Welcome to the stage. It's your moment to shine. Level up your game. Success is on the line. Okay. Your time is now to become a champion of your real estate brand. Are you ready?